Good morning, greetings friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures if you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you have a common or success story you'd like to share, if you have questions about the longevity products or our Truth Skin Health products, which are all available at truthtreatments.com, give us a call at 844-236-6010. We love hearing from you. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase longevity products or sign up to join the Brightside Ben team, head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products or sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. We've got news stories and blog posts and videos, all kinds of free information, plus lots of archives, eight plus years of archives at brightsideben.com. You can we have a search engine up at brightsideben.com, so you can search for various topics. And, of course, you can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the website for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself. Click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Love to have you as a member of the team if you're an entrepreneur, or if you like the nutrition business, or if nutrition has helped you in your life and you want to pay it forward, or if you just want to get your products at the wholesale price. Click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And for a one-time $30 fee, you can be set up in business as a distributor of longevity products. All our True Skin Health products are available at truthtreatments.com. Coming in the next probably week or 2 weeks, we'll have some new products up at truthtreatments.com. Prescription strength, potency, without the prescription. All our products were developed in my compounding pharmacy. We turned them into over-the-counter products, and they have one thing in common. All our products have one thing in common. They work, and it doesn't take much product to make them work. They're like medicine. You use very small amounts. We took all the water and the fillers and the waxes and the emulsifiers and the preservatives and the fragrances out of the products, left behind just the active and functional ingredients, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our Truth Treatment products. Are all available at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side, friends. We have been talking about kind of airy-fairy sort of stuff, which really isn't airy-fairy. Some people say it's airy-fairy, but it's really hardcore science. This idea that the mind and the emotions and the spirituality impact and play a major role on how the body shows up. Ancient wisdom calls this idea as above, so below. And taking this idea one step further, the needs of the physical body have correlates in the emotional and mental and spiritual levels. That is, we need to be nourished, we need to be fed with good thoughts and good feelings and healthy spirituality, like we need to be nourished and fed with good food. And we need to be detoxified of crappy thoughts and crappy feelings and crappy spirituality or lack of spirituality. We have to be nourished in the abstract levels. We have to be detoxified on the abstract levels, as much as we have to be nourished and detoxified on the physical levels. As above, so below. The most important connection between the spiritual and the mental and the emotional worlds essentially invisible worlds and the physical world, the visible world, the connection between the invisible and the physical and the visible world in our bodies involves the chemicals we call hormones, particularly the hormones of the immune system, the defense system. Scientists call this study of the relationship between our mental and emotional natures and our immune system, or our defense system, psychoneuroimmunology. And it is a thing. It's a real deal. Psychoneuroimmunology is the scientific version of woo-woo, of the woo-woo idea that our thoughts create our reality, of the woo-woo idea that our emotions show up as our bodies. It's called psychoneuroimmunology. It's the focus of our psychology, our psychological components, our psychological dimensions, and our immune system. And it has been a major target of researchers since the 1970s, when a National Institute of Health researcher named Candace Pert first discovered biochemicals she called neuropeptides. That is, peptides, little pieces of protein, little amino acid strings that the nervous system ran on. And she wrote a book called The Molecules of Emotion. It was a revolutionary book. It came out, I believe, in the late 80s, maybe early 1990s. And she followed this book up with a lot of papers highlighting the biochemical connection between the mind and the body, and even more fascinatingly, describing and discussing the relationship between the mind and the cells. As we've said so many times on this program, all disease is cell disease. All health is cell health. And what Dr. Pert talked about, and Dr. Pert scientifically showed, is that there is a major relationship between the mind, that is our thoughts and our emotions. When I say mind, I'm talking about the combination of our thoughts and our emotions, and perhaps you could include our spirituality and the cells. And Dr. Pert discovered in her research, and she was no hippy-dippy woo-woo person. She was a PhD biochemist that was doing all her work and all her research at the National Institute of Health, government agency. And she showed that every single cell in the body responds to the mind. It responds to thoughts. It responds to emotions. And it responds to the mind. It responds to thoughts. It responds to emotions with chemicals, with biomolecules, with peptides. She called these biomolecules, the peptides, or the molecules of emotion. And she said that the cell itself is, in essence, a conscious being. This is where as above, so below comes from. As is true about the body, is true about the cells. She said that the cells are actually little conscious beings in the same way that the body that these cells reside in is a conscious being. So the macro picture is a conscious being, and the micro picture is a conscious being. And once again, this is a PhD biochemist saying this. And furthermore, what Dr. Pert said is the way that we talk to each other, the way human beings communicate to each other, has a cellular correlate. As above, so below. The way human beings talk to each other with words, cells do the same thing with chemical words, and that's what she's calling peptides. Neuropeptides are cellular words. It's how cells talk to each other. Peptides, of course, are just strings of amino acids that ultimately come from the foods that we eat. This is so amazing. This is the link between the foods that we eat and the consciousness of a cell. Now, it's true a lot of these amino acids can be made by the body, but ultimately, even these little amino acids that are made by the body, ultimately they come from food. Can you see how powerful this is? The foods we eat ultimately become the cells and ultimately become the way the cells communicate to each other via these peptides. Dr. Pert said that the body is the end result of the response that the cells have to these peptides. The body takes shape as the end result of the response that all of these individual billions of cells have to peptides, which ultimately come from foods. Now, it's true that our thoughts we think and the emotions that we feel will also have an impact, but the raw materials themselves come from the foods that we eat. She said that the body is an information system, and by that she means that it's constantly communicating. The components of the body, the microscopic components of the body called cells, are constantly communicating to each other. She said that this information system is made up of two elements, the peptides, and then little openings in which the peptides fit in the cells. You could think of these little openings like ears. So if the peptides are words, the little openings are ears. They call them, scientists refer to this these ears and these words as a lock and key. We'll talk about that when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. Got lots of lines open. 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010 if you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today. The longevity products, the longevity business, our Truth Skin Health products, or a common or success story. 844-236-6010 is our number. Longevity products can be purchased at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. And don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so we're talking about the relationship between the mind and the body, this so-called mind-body connection, which is not, even though it seems like it's some kind of hippy-dippy new age thing, it's really hardcore science. Really, the hardcore scientific nature of the mind-body connection got going in the early 1990s, which is pretty recent, 20 years ago, 30 years ago maybe, the last 20 or 30 years. I've always said this. It's kind of amazing to me that we live in this medical world, and mostly a medical world that is based in a science of the Dark Ages and the Middle Ages and the Enlightenment and the 1800s and even the early 1900s, but we don't take into account the quantum and the mental and the emotional and the hormonal or the peptide aspects of health. And sometimes that's just the course of science. It takes a long time for what is recognized as scientific truths to reach the mainstream. And this is the case in medicine, and we suffer for it. The mind-body connection is something that's going to be taken advantage of by mainstream medicine in the next probably 100 years from now, maybe 50 years from now. But we can leverage it right now because we know it's true. We know from a scientific perspective that as we think, our body shows up. As we feel, our body shows up, for better or worse. And this all takes place at the level of the peptides and the cells. According to Dr. Pert, this body-mind information system is made up of two elements, peptides and receptors. Receptors are like little ears. Peptides are like words. The words hit the ears, and the cell behaves accordingly, for better or worse. These peptides, Dr. Pert called them neuropeptides. She referred to these peptides as neuropeptides because she was focusing on the peptides that affect the brain peptides. And she was especially focusing on the relationship between brain chemicals or brain peptides and the immune system and immune cells. She was especially focusing on the chemicals the brain produces and the receptors on the cells of the immune system. The neuropeptides and the immune cells. This is the science of psychoneuroimmunology. And this highlights the relationship between mind and emotions and the immune system. All disease is cell disease. All cell disease involves somehow inflammation and immunity. Inflammation is the immune system. So when we talk about the relationship between mind and emotions and the immune system, what we're talking about, mind and emotions, or thoughts and emotions, and inflammation. If you've ever had a doctor or physician or somebody tell you that your disease has an inflammatory component, which all diseases do, if you're taking an anti-inflammatory drug, if you have an autoimmune disease, via this connection that Dr. Pert so brilliantly talked about and discovered in the early 1990s, you can rest assured that your inflammatory condition, your autoimmune condition, has some kind of link to your mind and to your emotions, to your mental nature and your emotional nature. And this is so important. It's so important to talk about on a nutrition show because everybody wants to know what supplement to take. Everybody wants to know what pill to take. Oh, I got this problem. What vitamin do I take? I got that problem. What mineral do I need? Yeah, vitamins and minerals are important. Of course they are. Nutrition is very important. I just got through saying how peptides come in from foods. Clearly they're important. But you can't marginalize the thoughts you think and the feelings you feel from the way your body shows up. You can't separate those two out. They're linked inextricably. And this is what Dr. Pert talked about in the Molecules of Emotion, a super easy book to read and very interesting, especially if you're dealing with some kind of physical health challenge. Until Dr. Pert came out with her research, the cell was seen as a programmed little machine. And there's still mainstream scientists and mainstream medical professionals who believe that the cell is a pre-programmed machine that is dependent on its genetic heritage for its actions. Anybody who ever tells you, any medical professional ever tells you, or any layperson who ever tells you, oh, I got diabetes because my mother had diabetes. I have breast cancer because it's in my family. I'm overweight because everybody in my family is overweight. Everybody in my family has lupus, so I have lupus. They don't understand the recent understandings, and by recent I'm talking about the last 25 or 30 years, of the connection between how we think and how we feel, how we respond to our environment, and how our cells show up. And it's tragic. It's a terrible thing because we have so much power and we're not leveraging it, and we're not taught to leverage it. Why aren't we taught to leverage how our bodies show up via the power of the mind in kindergarten and in elementary school? This is something every child should be taught, that how our body shows up is the end result, at least partially, of how we think and how we feel. Everybody should know this. So until Dr. Pert came out with her groundbreaking research, everybody just assumed that the cell was programmed and it was genetics and that's how it was. But after Pert, the cell began to be appreciated as a responsive living entity that was conscious of its environment and responsive to its environment. Conscious of its environment and responsive to its environment, interpreting its environment and transforming its environment into its internal state. How cool is that? The cell reads the environment and turns it into its internal milieu, into its internal state. And ultimately, it turns it into the macroscopic body that the cell is living in. Reading from the website of the Energetics Institute, that's energeticsinstitute.com, quote, "The cell is now seen to be interpreting our environment into whatever reality it can inside the cell, with the purpose of ensuring that we survive and thrive in our environment. The cells can now be called the self," and that's C-E-L-L-F, the self, instead of the self, instead of the S-E-L-F, to show the link from the micro level cell consciousness to the macro level body self-consciousness of traditional psychology. The billions of cells that make us all up are collectively operating in this way. Some have an external environment that's inside the body. Others, such as our skin and our other sense awareness organs, such as the eyes and the nose and the mouth and the ears and the imagination, all function to receive stimulus and make meaning of the external out there world for us. The cell-level process feeds into the nervous system and into the muscles and into the immune system and gives rise to our emerging self-consciousness in our bodies and our minds, which we call the body-mind. In other words, communication is going downward from the brain to the cells to create those cells, and then back upward from the cells to the brain to create our thoughts and our feelings, and then back downward and back upward and back downward and back upward. And ultimately, this whole picture of brain to cells and cells to brain is called the body-mind. And while medicine wants to separate the two, true scientists cannot do that if they're taking into account what are biological and biochemical facts. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We will return on the bright side right after this. We're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com. You can purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites for a one-time $30 fee, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Got lines open for you at 844-236-6010. We'll get your calls here momentarily, so hang tight. We do have lines open, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, I'd love to know what you guys think about this whole mind-body connection. Do you think it's crazy? Do you think it's woo-woo? Do you think it's hippy-dippy? Or do you think it's real? And if you think it's real, are you leveraging it to take care of your health? How many of you guys are meditating? We're going to talk about meditation next week. That's a really powerful tool to leverage the power of the mind to control the body. There's so much literature on meditation for lowering blood pressure, meditation for boosting the immune system, meditation for helping folks deal with PTSD and insomnia and anxiety disorders. We'll talk about that next week on the bright side as we continue discussing the molecules of emotion and the immune system. I have not forgotten that we're going to continue talking about sulfur and mercury and glutathione. I've got lots to say about glutathione, the body's primary antioxidant, the proven peptide that can boost your immune system, that can help kick toxins out of the body, increase your energy, improve your longevity. Got lots to talk about. As we continue discussing the power of the decisions we make and the choices we make in our lives over how our body shows up, for better or worse. And speaking of that, this is from Medscape. Has a poor diet linked to 80,000 cancer cases in the United States. Talking about leveraging the power of our lifestyle choices over how our body shows up. Nothing is more powerful than the relationship between diet and disease, diet and cancer especially. As many as 80,000 new cases of cancer reported in 2015 may have been diet-related, according to results of a new study. Colorectal cancer, no surprise there, had the highest proportion of diet-related cases, with 38.3% of all cases associated with suboptimal diets. Dietary-linked cancers are comparable to those associated with alcohol intake. In other words, having a crappy diet is just as bad as being an alcoholic when it comes to cancer, or at least comparable to being an alcoholic when it comes to cancer. If you're not sure, and it's very difficult to have a good diet with the way our food supply is, and if you're not sure about what you're eating, just eat less. That's the single most important and powerful thing we can do if we want to improve our longevity. Eat less. If we simply reduced our caloric intake to ingesting calories only when we absolutely positively were hungry, we could help reduce the incidence and the severity and the symptoms of almost every single chronic long-term degenerative disease you can name, because the digestive system is the physical link between the outside world and the inside world. The emotional and the mental nature, those have links to the outside world and the inside world, but the foods we eat represent the most immediate physical correlation between outside and inside, and simply by reducing the amount of food we intake, we can reduce our symptomology dramatically. And along those same lines, from Case Western University, having your appendix removed increases Parkinson's disease risk. I have been saying this for years. There is a major relationship between the foods we eat and our digestive health and Parkinson's disease and other neurological diseases. 40 years ago, people were having their appendix removed for fun. This is from the website What Doctors Don't Tell You. Along with taking out tonsils, this was the biggest just-in-case surgical procedure around. But now it's been discovered that having an appendectomy, that is removing your appendix, triples the risk of developing Parkinson's disease. I remember they used to tell us, in pharmacy school they told us, oh, the appendix, that doesn't really do anything. That's a vestige. The appendix is this little tiny piece of tissue that hangs off of the intestine. Well, today we know that this little tiny piece of tissue is a warehouse, a storage depot for probiotics, for good bacteria. And having your appendix removed is not only going to triple your risk for Parkinson's, it's going to quadruple and quintuple, I don't even know the numbers, your risk for digestive health problems. Researchers from Case Western Reserve University looked at the health records of more than 62 million patients. 488,000 who had their appendix removed were 3 times more likely to develop Parkinson's than others who did not have the same procedure. Keep your appendix. Unless you have appendicitis, you have a severe problem, keep your appendix. Unless you have any severe problems, keep all of your organs. Doctors want to take your gallbladder out. They want to take your thyroid out. They want to take your appendix out. They take out organs just in case. They remove breasts just in case. They take out female reproductive organs just in case. This is the only reason a physician can think, or a surgeon can think, it's okay to take out an organ is if they don't see the body as a system. If you see the body as a system, you know you cannot have the same body if it doesn't have a gallbladder, or if it doesn't have a breast, or if it doesn't have an appendix. It's not the same body. You cannot have a fully functioning body unless all the components are intact. If you have cancer, okay, I understand. If you have some absolutely ridiculously severe gallbladder pain, I understand. But if you can keep your organs keep them and only have them removed as a last resort, because if they do come out, there's no way you can be fully functional and fully healthy without them. It's just the nature of a system. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Texas and say good morning to Chris. What is up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
Thank you, Ben, for your time.
What's going on?
Look,
hello.
I have budget limitations. Look, I take vitamin D. I know that you don't like overdoses of vitamin D because you say vitamin D is the hormone, but I take a lot of vitamin D because it's a cheap supplement. I get it from Costco, right? So explain why that it's not a good idea to overdose on vitamin D. I need to understand that.
Why don't you just lay out in the sun? You're in Texas.
Because I'm allergic to the sun.
You're
no, I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you asked that question, Ben. I am allergic to the sun. Every time that I get out in the sun, it's like I seem to have oversensitivity to the sun compared to normal people, and I get like sunburn, I get rosacea, and it's crazy.
Why do you think it's? Why do you blame the sun? Why do you blame the sun and not your immune system? Sounds like you have an immune problem, not a sun problem.
I do have an immune problem because I have autism, so I have an immune problem.
Well, we can get into that in a second, but what I'm thinking is you want to strengthen your immune system and not avoid the sun. Now, you don't want to bake, and you don't want to cause any reactions, but a little bit of sun is very important. The vitamin D you get from the sun is not the same as the vitamin D you get from a supplement. Let's be very clear about that. The vitamin D you get from the sun is an electrified form of vitamin D. That's not the case with a supplement. When you get vitamin D from the sun, the photons actually electrify the vitamin D molecule. They electrify via the action of sulfur, just as an aside. And this vitamin D sulfate, or this vitamin D sulfur combination, is a much more efficient, much more powerful, and much less toxic form of vitamin D. Now, when I say toxic, I don't mean like a poison toxic, but like you pointed out, vitamin D is a hormone, and you got to be very careful about taking hormones as supplements. So you got to be a little bit respectful of vitamin D as a supplement, and you got to be a little bit respectful of vitamin A as a supplement. A and D, by the way, go together. Hang on, we'll finish up. We got to take a commercial.
Can you hang with me after the break? The break?
Yeah, absolutely. I will. I'll let you finish up.
You.
Okay, so don't go away. All right, Chris. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open, 844-236-6010, and we'll be back right after this. Okay, we're back on the bright side. We're talking to Chris in Texas. Chris, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Listen,
I got to...
First of all...
Okay, go ahead.
I want to give a compliment to your call screener. Your call screener is excellent because your call screener understands that even though I'm a little bit unorthodox, your call screener understands that I'm an advocate for you. I'm an advocate for your longevity. But look, the reason why I'm calling you, Ben, is because, I'm scared to death, man. Look, I'm scared to death because I listened to your colleague from Longevity, Dr. Joe Wallach, right? And, Dr. Joe Wallach, these longevity products, honestly, Ben, I can't afford this stuff, okay? I can't afford to buy this stuff. I know it's good. I know that you get what you pay for. I know it's good quality stuff, but I can't afford it. But the reason why I call you, Ben, periodically is because I'm scared to death, because I understand that the paradigm has become that, kids are outliving their parent, okay? It's happened in my family, right? That's why I lost my inheritance. I lost my inheritance, Ben, because my mom died, okay? And
so I'm not... What are you at, Chris? I got to get you on track here. Tell me how I can help you, or tell me what you're asking me specifically. Put a question together. Chris?
Ben, look. What I'm saying is that your colleague, Dr. Wallach, is right. Parents are outliving their children. This is a crisis.
Yeah, I got you. How can I help you, Chris? Because I got a bunch of calls here I want to get to. So tell me how I can help you.
you know what? Maybe you can't right now. But you know what?
Okay.
I just want to wake people up to this, that, you know what? It's become the norm that parents are outliving their...
Okay. I think we lost Chris. All right. Call back if you like, Chris. I'm not sure what Chris was asking me, but just to be clear here, the vitamin D that you get from the sun is an activated form of vitamin D. It's technically a sulfated form of vitamin D. And this is very interesting, by the way. The sun is a activator. The sun drives electrical energy in the body. At the end of the day, we're electrical beings. We get electrified by the action of the sun. The sun turns sulfur compounds in the skin into electrified sulfur compounds. Those electrified sulfur compounds drive electrical energy into cells. So we get electrical energy from the sun. We're photosynthetic beings in the sense that we synthesize our body from photonic energy. Do not underestimate the power of the sun. Not only that, the sun is anti-inflammatory. The sun upregulates happy hormones like serotonin. The sun is an appetite suppressant. There's so many reasons to make sure that you're exposing yourself to the sun. And guess what? It doesn't count getting your sun through your car, getting sunshine through the car window, and it doesn't count getting your sunshine by taking the dog for a walk. You got to expose a lot of skin to the sun. The sun is a powerful, powerful healing tool, and it's a classic example. Chris was talking about how it's expensive to use supplements. Well, the sunshine's free, and it's a classic example of the little things that we can do to help strengthen our bodies. The foods we eat, the thoughts we think, the emotions we feel, getting out in the sun, making sure we're breathing correctly. We haven't talked about that in a while. You know, every time you move your diaphragm, you electrify your viscera. Every time you move your diaphragm, you pump blood through your viscera. Every time you move your diaphragm, you move the fluids through your lymphatic system as well as through the blood circulatory system. There's so many ways that we can improve our health. There's so many ways that we can maintain our health. There's so many ways that we can avoid the scourge of disease, so much so that, in my opinion, that if we're suffering from disease or we're suffering from accelerated aging, we are clearly not leveraging these powerful tools that we have at our disposal that are free, or at least extremely cheap. All right, 844-236-6010. Let's say good morning to our friend Barry in New Orleans. What's up, Barry?
Yes, good morning. Yes, I didn't quite understand. I was asking you about whether I could be getting too much protein because I feel like I eat a handful of nuts because I've heard too much protein can damage your kidneys.
You'd have to eat a lot of protein to damage your kidneys. The kidneys are incredibly resilient. I had somebody ask me yesterday about supplements damaging the kidneys. The kidneys are incredibly resilient. You got two of them, first of all, and each one of those has all kinds of redundancy. Thousands of miles of circulatory system of blood vessels in the kidneys. You could be down to 20% kidney function. In other words, 80% of your kidneys could be not functioning, and you can still be okay. You don't go into full-blown kidney disease until you're at 15% functioning or something like that. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, you don't want to get carried away with protein, especially if you have any kind of digestive health issues, and especially considering most of the protein that we eat today is toxic. It's meat protein, which is toxic, or it's egg protein, which can be toxic. I mean, the problem with protein, most protein anyway, is it comes from animals, and the way we take care of our animals is not nice. The hormones that the animals get, the antibiotics that the animals get, factory farming, just Google chicken farms, industrial farming of chickens, and it's a horrible thing. So you got to be a little bit careful with protein, that's true, but not necessarily for the kidneys, but basically because proteins are hard to process and also because of the toxic chemicals that animals are fed. But as far as the amino acids go, the breakdown products, and that's what you're talking about with the kidneys, that's not anything that you really have to concern yourself about. I can't imagine, unless you're doing protein supplements like crazy and you're not working out and your body's not using that protein. But I don't even know if then. Now, if you have kidney disease, then you want to be a little bit careful with the protein probably if you're into kidney disease. But as far as the protein itself damaging the kidneys, sugar is a much, much bigger problem. That's the real cause of kidney disease, and that's why kidney disease and diabetics and kidney disease and diabetes go hand in hand. The biggest problem with the kidneys is the blood sugar system, and if you do have any kind of kidney problems, that's what you want to be focusing on, using supplements to help process sugar, and most especially, of course, reducing your sugar intake. And by the way, there's an important relationship between vitamin D and the kidneys. And if you do have kidney problems, it's very likely, or at least possible, that you could be dealing with vitamin D deficiencies, because the kidneys are one of the main ways that vitamin D gets activated. So if you have kidney disease, it's a good possibility that you may also be dealing with vitamin D deficiencies, which is yet another reason why you want to make sure you're getting out in the sun. What else, Barry? Anything else you got for me?
Yeah, well, I have no problems with my kidneys, but I just wanted to be sure that I wouldn't damage my kidneys or my liver.
How much what are you doing for protein?
Well, I eat, beans, rice, nuts.
I mean, are you eating a lot of protein? Are you going crazy with the protein or something? Why are you concerned about protein?
Well, I just recently heard that eating too much can damage your kidneys and your liver. What about your liver? Is that possible?
No. I mean, it depends. I don't know what you mean by too much, but no, it's very unlikely. The liver is where amino acids are mostly processed. So I can see why somebody would point to the liver, but you have to be going crazy with the protein. And protein is very satisfying. Most people don't overdo protein. It's very difficult to overdo protein because of the satiety factor. That is, protein has a certain satisfaction element that sugar doesn't have. You can eat a lot of sugar, a lot more sugar before you get sick than protein. Nobody binges on steaks. I mean, you eat a steak or you eat a hamburger, or you eat eggs, and you don't feel like eating it anymore. It sort of limits itself. So it's very difficult to get too much protein. Now, if you're swallowing amino acids in supplements, or you're doing a lot of protein powders, you maybe get more than you need, but I don't think you're going to get enough to be able to damage your kidneys or your liver. All right?
All right. Quickly, can you comment on sun gazing? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard me speak about the sun. The sun is. I talk about the sun a lot. It is super duper important, and heliophobia, fear of the sun, is just tragic to me. Sun gazing is when you look directly at the sun, and you got to be a little bit careful because the eyes are very sensitive, and prolonged exposure can lead to various problems, cataracts and other things. But small amounts of sun gazing, just like for 10 seconds, looking directly in the sun, especially first thing in the morning. If you stare at the sun first thing in the morning for like a few seconds, not a lot, you'll find yourself waking up. Serotonin is your wake-up hormone. It's your daytime hormone, and serotonin levels go up when you look at the sun, or even when you're in the sun. That's another benefit for the sun. We all know about serotonin reuptake inhibitors. The sun is natural Prozac because it upregulates your serotonin. Barry, those are all good questions. Thank you so much for your call. Appreciate it. I love my smart listeners on the bright side. Thank you so much to all you guys. And that's it. We're just out of time. Please check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for all the longevity products, and truthtreatments.com for our Truth Skin Health products. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.